Hello, welcome to my first vlog. I have a very busy week in front of me. I still have to do an assignment for university. However, I'm also visiting my hometown a last time before I move. I'm moving next month to Slovenia. I'm currently still living in Germany. And to get home, I have to take a long train ride of about 9 hours. That's something that I'm going to do this week on Wednesday. It's currently Monday. I would like to finish my book before I'm going. So the book I'm currently reading is The Count of Monte Cristo Part 1. I don't own Part 2 yet. That should arrive next week, but I would like to finish this before I'm going home on Wednesday. I've got like 140 pages left, but it is really slow going because I'm reading it in French and my French is not good. I can't really talk in it, I can just read it. So that's something that we're going to do the next 2 days. Also, a good friend of mine sent me something to read over, which I'm very happy to do. I like correcting things for my friends, not because I'm particularly good at correcting grammar or spelling mistakes, but because I like seeing what my friends are doing. So I think I'm going to start with that now. And then maybe I'll do something for my own university project later. So I'm done with the correction of my friend's paper, and you know how sometimes you're just like really proud of something your friends do. This was amazing. She's so smart. How? Anyway, I'm not too tired yet, so I will probably continue with the Count of Monte Cristo. I am enjoying it. I do think that sometimes Dumas just includes some subplots that maybe wouldn't have been too necessary. I didn't need to know all of that background information, but apart from that, it's really good. I do hope that the second part arrives quite soon because I want to be able to read it before I forget everything that happened in here. If you don't know what The Count of Monte Cristo is about, this is about a sailor, Edmond Dantès, or Dantes. I'm not entirely sure how you would pronounce his name. That's what I mean when I say I don't speak French, I just read it. He's a sailor and he's essentially framed for a crime that he did not commit. He's framed as a traitor to the crown, as somebody who wants to bring back Napoleon. This is set in the 18, like from somewhere between 1815 to 18, I don't even know. And soon Napoleon does come back at some point, but it's kinda gushed over because it's not important to the story itself. Mandante is known as a traitor who wants Napoleon back on the throne. So after his imprisonment, he does manage to flee. There is a very emotional scene with another prisoner that becomes his friend in the prison. Due to circumstances that I won't mention here, Dante has to flee alone. But this friend helps Dante become very rich after his escape. And so Dante goes on this journey to revenge himself because he was in prison for like 15 years or something. And so everything obviously has changed. But I'm not really at the point of the revenge quite yet, I think. I think it's building up to it. For now, you have seen how Dante has changed due to his money. It's very interesting to see how from this boy who was very optimistic in life but didn't have a lot, he didn't own much, he becomes this man who's very well versed in culture and languages. He also becomes this kind of superficial man to whom his appearance is obviously very important. And he kind of starts friendships with people who he thinks might help him revenge himself without those people knowing. So these people think he's their friend, but he's obviously not, because he's only using them. And I think to contrast this with the boy he used to be, that's a very interesting difference that these 15 years have made, and the way prison has shaped him, and this betrayal, because he did think that the people who framed him were actually his friends, and he needed the man he met in prison to explain to him that maybe they weren't his friends. So that's a very interesting plot to follow, and I'm very excited where it's leading, so I will just read for the rest of the evening. It's Wednesday now, so I do have to be at the train station in 2 hours. I did, in fact, manage to finish the first part of The Mount of Monte Cristo, and I did enjoy it. It's a 4-star book. I do still think that sometimes Dumas just loses himself in this story. It's a very slow build-up to the actual plot or to the actual revenge part. In fact, no actual revenge has been done yet. You do kind of see the strings coming together, but it's just a very slow book. Also, the book in this edition, I think, was split up in an unfortunate way. But there's a new character appearing at the end of this book, and at first I thought I had just missed him, because the book is kind of talking about this character as if he's always been there. And then I googled it, and in fact, he just does appear out of nowhere. So at least I didn't miss anything important. But apart from that, it was very enjoyable. There is one character that I like a lot. I think his name was Andreas. Andrea. He is a Viscount, but he's also the son of one of the people that were responsible for the imprisonment of the Count of Monte Cristo. So I'm just hoping that nothing happens to this character, because he's very in awe of the Count of Monte Cristo, and he calls the Count his friend and one of his close friends even, and there's the storyline going of them helping each other, but I'm just scared he might be part of the revenge plot. Anyway, now that that's done, I did decide to obviously bring another book on the train, because I am going for at least 10 to 12 hours this night. I haven't had a 5-star since January, and usually fantasy is my way to go. So I did consult my sister, and she also told me to just pick a fantasy book. And so I'm taking this one. I don't know if this one will be a 5-star. I've heard very mixed things. It's Mordieu by Alex Freeby? Not sure. I don't know a lot about this book, except that a lot of people thought it was too weird or too dark, which are both things I like. And apparently God is dead. That's what it says on the backside. I'm not gonna read the whole blurb, because I do want to kind of go in blind. So that's the book I'm taking on the train ride. And I'm bringing my sister a book I've already read, which is With Music We Dream by Roxane Hube. Unfortunately, it hasn't been translated into English. It's quite a new one. It's about this girl who wants to become a host in her own radio show, but her boss doesn't let her even try it. And so she makes this deal with her boss that if she gets an interview with this famous boy band, she will be allowed to try out being a host. To get these boys into the studio, she tries a lot of things, and in the end she climbs through a toilet window where she meets the bass player. They are seen, then they start fake dating for several reasons, and it's a very cute romance. It's very non-toxic, which I like, and I think my sister will love this, so I'm also taking this home. I still have some time left until I have to go to the bus station, so I will clean my room a little bit and also pack a few more things, and then I should be done. It's Friday now. I have been at my mother's home for a day. I did record footage of my journey, but I had a pretty bad experience at one of the train stations. And I'm kind of trying to still make sense of it, and I don't want to use the footage that I took of my journey because of that experience. I did start Mordio on the train, and I've gotten about 140 pages through, which isn't a lot. It has very dark themes, and I do think that this could be a 5-star for me. However, because of the experience at the train station, I have decided to put it down for now. I am not easily triggered by books in general. I like exploring very dark themes. I would like to continue reading it maybe in a few days when I have thought a bit more about what happened. That's why I've also decided to pick up a different book. It's also a chunker. This is about world history. It's a non-fiction, so I can put it down whenever I like. I haven't really started reading it yet. I did go through the preface and the introduction, and now I'm just at the start. This tells world history by following families, which also means that there are some more women and children being talked about than usually in history books, as far as I understand it from the blurb on the back. And I've decided to just read this for now because, as I said, I can put it down as soon as I want to continue reading this one. Apart from that, I also still have my research paper to do, but I will continue doing that tomorrow.